Welcome to Gordon Scholl Memorial Field, home of the Hillsboro Tigers, who are 1-2 for the 23 season and 1-0 in games that count toward playoff contention. So Hillsboro on the right track there as they defeated the Necedah Cardinals last week 56-0. Tonight, the hometown Tigers will welcome the Iowa Grant Panthers, who are also 1-2 overall, and they also picked up their first Ridge and Valley Conference win of the year with a 44-24 victory over the Boscoville Bulldogs. Keys for the Tigers to get a win tonight are playing a stout defense and limiting Iowa Grant big play potential. Iowa Grant has an established passing team, which will test the Hillsboro's defensive backs early and often. Hillsboro will also have to establish a running game early on to keep momentum and the clock running. Tonight is Parents' Night here at Hillsboro. We will be honoring the parents of the football players, cross-country team, and cheerleaders. Those activities will get started just before the game, so we'll have a little longer pregame than anticipated, and game time should start approximately 7:10 p.m. Thursday night football. Beautiful football weather, about 64 degrees here in Hillsboro. Far cry from the 99 degrees we had Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So should be no chance of overheating tonight. Stay tuned, and we will be back with Ridge and Valley Conference football action.
Thursday night for a conference series between the Iowa Grant Panthers and your Hillsboro Tigers. First, we will hold ceremonies for Parents' Night, and Athletic Director Hillary Stanek will take over.
At this time, we will be honoring our parents for football, then cheerleading, and then cross country. So first up, we have Nicole Sake, mother of Aiden Sake. Michael and Lindsay Downing, parents of Michael Downing. Lisa and Robert DeFligger, parents of Sean DeFligger. Chris and Sarah Koopman, parents of Ben Koopman. Dan and Kelly Ravenscroft, parents of Tyler and Miles Ravenscroft. Mike and Pam Stolke, parents of Keaton Stolke. Damian and Erica Gillingham, parents of Braxton Hinsey. Matt and Liz Hansen, parents of Nolan Hansen. Jody and Jory Rafel, parents of Garrett Rafel. Tom and Heather Stoll, parents of Marty Stoll. Josh and Lori Bell, parents of Zachary Bell. Michael and Leanne Johnson, parents of Drake Satona. Eli and Lori Stokes, parents of Isaac Stokes and Nicola Progetti. Joe and Heather Cairns, parents of Joseph Cairns. Katie and Andy Erickson, parents of Jaden Burnett. Keith and Jackie Davison, parents of Ira Davison. Katarina Camposeco Ross, aunt of Jorge Quinones Camposeco. Sarah Schmidt, mother of Logan and Carson Gajewski. Christy and Mitch McCoy, parents of Ryan McCoy. Lisa and RJ Johnson, parents of David Johnson. Brian and Wendy Novacek, parents of Irvin Novacek. Mike and Angie Clark, parents of Caden Clark. Joe and Mary Tyne, parents of Isaac Tyne. Megan Blaha and Richard Good, parents of Monty Good. Dan and Shirley Green, parents of Dane Green. Barb Stanek, aunt of Jaden and Emma McGraw. Zach Nowak and Tara Hamburg, parents of Dalton Nowak. Jamie Shannon, mother of Wyatt Jensen. And Eric and Gina All, parents of Lauren All. Cheerleaders, Damon and Erica Hill, parents of Delana Hill. Wayne and Shanda Hardy, parents of Cheyenne Britsky. Rich and Jerry Bray, parents of Riley Bray. Lena Wells and Mark Wells, parents of Josie Wells. John and Lindsay O'Hare, parents of Daphne O'Hare. Eric and Nancy Roan, parents of Brooke Roan. Cross Country, Sabrina and Mark Postel, parents of Sawyer Postel. Jill McDonough, parents of AJ McDonough. Shanda and Wade Hardy, parents of Christiana Britsky. Joe Daniels and Tasha Dwyer, parents of Joseph Daniels. Jim Setzler, grandpa of Quinn Shetter and Abe Shetter. Patty and Bill Morin, parents of Zach Morin. Sadie and Rick Urban, parents of Reed Urban. Dana and Thor Anderson, parents of Ian Anderson. Wendy and Todd Salisbury, parents of Brett Salisbury. Elizabeth and Chris Kimball, parents of Sean Lewinberg. And Jason and Kayla Kirkpatrick, parents of Dominic Kirkpatrick. Let's give one final round of applause to all of our parents. Thank you, parents, for everything you do for your kids and the time that you commit to them.
Guys, I'm guessing on our side.
Again, good evening and welcome to Gordon Scholl Memorial Field on this Thursday night for a conference game between the Iowa Grant Panthers and your Hillsboro Tigers. At this time, if you are able, please rise, remove your hats, and turn your attention to the south end zone for the playing and raising of the flag for the national anthem. senior, number 1, Ashton Schmidt. Wide receiver, senior, number 2, Kaylin Coat. Running back, junior, number 3, Gavin Hinderman. Quarterback, senior, number 5, Kyle Stubble. Wide receiver, senior, number 14, Devin Cohn. Running back, junior, number 27, Dawson Reed. Tight end, junior, number 45, Corbin Burgos. At guard, junior, number 52, Caden Klein. At tackle, senior, number 60, Christian Garcia. At center, senior, number 61, Caleb Watson. At tackle, junior, number 63, Drew Bailey. At tackle, junior, number 67, Landon Ross. And at guard, junior, number 77, Bronson McCone. Now, introductions for your Hillsboro Tigers. At linebacker, number 5, a senior, Erwin Hodchuk. At defensive back, sophomore, number 8, Miles Ravenscroft. At linebacker, freshman, number 13, Kaden Clark. At linebacker, senior, number 21, Isaiah Stokes. At linebacker, senior, number 23, Ben Copeland. At defensive back, junior, number 36, Isaac Tyne. On the defensive line, sophomore, number 50, Jorge Kino Nez Compensoko. At defensive line, sophomore, number 52, Dane Green. At defensive line, junior, number 60, Nolan Hampton. At linebacker, sophomore, number 65, Ryan McCoy. And at linebacker, junior, number 88, Joseph Carnes.
There you have it, our starting lineups for tonight's game. As we prepare for our kickoff,
Hillsboro High School, Iowa Grant High School, and the WIA requires good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at education-based interscholastic events.
it appears Iowa Grant will line up to receive.
Racial, sexist, or ethnic comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated in their
Sliding back to receive for Iowa Grant is Ashton Schmitz.
Tonight's officials are Henry Bray, Tim Lee, Brandon Lee.
The up back is Lucas Christensen. And I believe number 14, Devin McCone. Hillsboro yet to put their team on the field yet. I'm assuming Miles Ravenscroft will be teeing it up for the Tigers. As Ravenscroft now joins the huddle for the kickoff team. So Miles Ravenscroft going to tee up the ball for the Tigers to kick it away from the Tiger 40-yard line. Again, deep to receive, Ashton Schmitz for the Panthers. Thursday night football, Ridge and Valley action, and we are about to get underway, and we are off. Recovered by an up lineman for the Panthers. It'll be 1st and 10 for Iowa Grant. It'll set up about the Iowa Grant 39-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Iowa Grant Panthers. Kyle Stuffle under center for Iowa Grant. Fumble on the play and loose ball, and I believe Stuffle fell on top of it. Hillsboro saying it's theirs. And Joseph Cairns comes out of the pile. An early turnover for Hillsboro as Joseph Cairns will recover the ball. It'll be a turnover on the fumble on the first offensive play of the game. It'll be 1st and 10 for Hillsboro. And they'll mark the ball on the Iowa Grant 36-yard line. Great hustle play. I've got Nick Steckel in the house with me tonight. Chime in anytime you want, Nick.
Hey, Hillsboro's main thing they got to do today is they got to get points on the board. Last year they ended up losing to Iowa 6-8.
I agree. Tyler Ravenscroft under center. He's going to give it to up the middle to Stokes. Isaac Tyne, rather, on the ball carry. Tyne with about a 3-yard gain. Be 2nd and 7 for the Tigers.
Bring up 2nd and 8 for the Tiger offense.
Hillsboro again hustles up the line of scrimmage. Tyler Ravenscroft under center for the Hillsboro at quarterback. He'll take the snap. He'll give it to Stokes this time. Nope,
No,
it's
he'll
flipped
keep
out,
it.
and it's Ben Copeman, I believe.
Nope, he
who is
kept it.
Ravenscroft kept the ball. Offense had me fooled. And they're going to say it's a Hillsboro first down. It's going to be all the way down to the Iowa Grant 26-yard line, I believe. They're marking it right at the 25. Be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. So the Tigers picking up a turnover and a quick first down. Ravenscroft once again under center for the Tigers. It looks like Tyne with the ball. He plows up forward for great yardage. He's got 4+ yards on that run, and if you get that much every time, you're going to walk right into the end zone. This is what we said Hillsboro had to do, is establish a running game early and just drive it at Iowa Grant, keep Iowa Grant on their heels. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Ball just outside the 20-yard line. Ravenscroft take the ball. He'll hand again to Tyne. Tyne up middle for short yardage, positive gain. He'll give him about a 3-yard gain. Going to bring up 3rd and a long 2 for the Tigers.
And as we were talking about before, Hillsboro scored 6 points in the second quarter. Didn't score the rest of the game, and Iowa Grant ended up winning the fourth quarter on a touchdown 2-point conversion.
I agree. Hillsboro has to establish dominance and jump out to an early lead and keep driving. Ravenscroft again under center for the Tigers. He'll send Copeman in motion. The ball given late to Stokes, and he's working for all he can get. Bit shy of first down yardage. It's going to bring up 4th, and he might have actually lost a little yardage. 4th and a long 2, almost 3 yards. They're saying the ball on the 17 looks more like the 18 to me. So it's going to be let's call it 4th and 3, and all on the line here for the Tigers, either first down or they'll be turning it over on downs to the Panthers. Ravenscroft under center. He'll take the ball. He'll give it again to Tyne, who lunges forward. It's going to be close. Stop the clock. Unofficially, or officially 9:02 left to play in the game, and they're calling for a measurement. So we'll see just how close this measurement shall be.
And it looks like they're going to have it by about 4 inches.
And they stretch the chains, and with the official in the way,
Iowa
or Hillsboro's an inch short. An inch short on the chain, and Iowa Grant will take over on downs. So Iowa Grant's defense stifles and stops the Tigers on the Iowa Grant 15-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Steffel under center. And Hillsboro's going to bury the ball carrier right away. 27, the ball carrier. That would be Dawson Reed for no gain. So it'll be second and 10.
Looked like Caden Clark on the tackle.
Caden
There's
Clark
about
among
4
those on the
people.
tackle. Stuff will bring his team to the line of scrimmage once again for the Panthers. Once again, he'll hand off. And Joseph Cairns on the tackle. Dawson Reed again with a short gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Panthers. So Hillsboro's defense playing tight. They've had 3 defensive plays now. And there's a fumble on one where Hillsboro recovered, and the other 2 runs basically for no gain. 3rd and a long 9. Stuff will go to pass. He drops back, and it intercepted. I believe
Should be Miles Ravenscroft on the interception.
Is it Caden Clark with the interception?
Miles Ravenscroft with the interception.
Tyler? Miles Ravenscroft on the interception for Hillsboro. So both Iowa Grant drives end in turnovers. The first one with a fumble. The second one now an interception. Iowa Grant, they're a passing team. Hillsboro will line up now. 1st and 10 from the Iowa Grant 19-yard line. Ravenscroft under center. He'll take the snap. Back to pass for Ravenscroft. And he finds Joseph Cairns for the first touchdown of the game. Call it a 19-yard touchdown pass. Tyler Ravenscroft to Joseph Cairns, rather. Not Tyne, Joseph Cairns on the touchdown. So Joseph with a nice double move down near the end zone to slip in front, catch the ball, and step inside. Made it look like an easy 6 points for the Tigers. Hillsboro lines up 2-point conversion. Tyler Ravenscroft under center. And Stokes will take the handoff from Ravenscroft for the 2-point conversion, and Hillsboro out to an 8-0 lead with 7:32 left to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, you won't see that very often from Hillsboro, coming out first play on the drive there, going out passing.
I think Hillsboro caught everybody off guard, including the Iowa Grant Panthers defense. They were looking to run all the way on this triple option offense. Ravenscroft slips down and finds Joseph Cairns. He wasn't wide open, but he made a nice double move down by the end zone to catch the ball and slip on across the goal line. Miles Ravenscroft out to the Hillsboro 40 once again to tee it up. Ashton Schmidt's back deep for the Panthers. Awaiting the return. Last time a short kick by Hillsboro. And this one goes a bit deeper. Hits the up man. And he's going to be tackled. 32 on the tackle.
It looks like they're going to mark him at the 36.
I got Garrett Rafel on the tackle. And Davin McCone on the return. 1st and 10 from the Panther 36 for Iowa Grant, starting their 3rd drive of the night. They're going to hand off up the front and nothing there. Dawson Reed once again as the Hillsboro middle of that line is plugging it up.
Yeah, Nolan Hansen on the tackle there.
Nolan Hansen on the tackle up front. Cairns playing a defensive end position. We got Dane Green, Ryan McCoy, all anchoring that defensive line that has given up nothing so far tonight. Stuff will take the ball back to pass, launches downfield, nothing but grass underneath that one as he overthrew everybody. Tying in defense along with Isaiah Stokes. Ben Copeman also giving chase. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Panthers. So Hillsboro looking for a big stop right here and possibly force the first punt of the game. Iowa Grant not finding any room on 3 possessions so far, a total of about 2 yards of offense. Stuffle under center. He'll take the ball, drop back to pass again. Rolls to the right side, finds an open man, and he's going to be well short of the first down. Tackle by Stokes. The pass completed to Ashton Schmitz. So it's going to bring up 4th and a long 3 from the Panthers 43-yard line. Hillsboro anticipating punt here. They do have a punter dropping back. Kalen Cope, the punter, he'll take the ball. He'll punt it toward the sideline. Tyne with the ball. He'll catch it. He's got moving up the field to the 40-yard line. About a 11-yard return for Tyne. It's going to set Hillsboro up 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line as they'll start their 3rd possession of the game. With 6:03 left to play.
I think that might be the first punt he's caught this year.
6:03 left to play. Yeah, Hillsboro has a tendency of not catching the ball in the air, and it's fun to see him catch the air and make the play happen. Tyler Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. He'll take the ball. He'll keep it and get wrapped up right away behind the line of scrimmage for a loss on the play. Number 6, Brock Hinderman, the freshman from Iowa Grant, on the tackle for loss. What's that? We don't want to give him that. They say Bowden Brockhop, the Iowa Grant coach up here, he wants to get on the air. He wants to trade headsets with me. Tyler Ravenscroft once again under center for the Tigers. 3 backs in the backfield. Copeman in motion. They're going to nothing going there. There's a host of Panther players in on the tackle. No gain on the play.
27.
Going to bring up 3rd and 11 for the Tigers from their own 39-yard line. Ravenscroft take the snap. He'll hand off to Stokes around the right side, left side rather, and Stokes going to pick up about 5 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 6 for the Tigers from the 44-yard line of the Tigers. 4:35 left to play in the first quarter. So Hillsboro runs the punting team out onto the field. Back deep to receive the punt, Ashton Schmitz.
And Hillsboro doesn't have a punter.
And now they're going to run someone out on the field as they're short one player, an up man. And it looks like Irvin Novacek punting as he gives it a boot. Sky's up in the air and will call for a fair catch, and Schmitz will fair catch it at the 30-yard line of the Panthers. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Iowa Grant on their own 30-yard line. 4:29 left to play in the first quarter. Iowa Grant will start another possession now. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. First time we've seen Irvin punt the ball this year, and he had a nice punt at that. Got a lot of hang time, forced a fair catch with no return. Steffel under center for the Panthers. Steffel handoff up the middle. Short gain, number 27, Dawson Reed on the carry.
Be Irvin Novacek on the tackle.
Irvin Novacek on the tackle, stopping Reed for a 4-yard gain. Going to bring up 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Steffel again under center for the Panthers. He'll hand off to Reed. They fooled me. Handoff is to Steffel kept the ball. You catch the tackle, Nick?
Number 23, which is going to be Ben Koopman.
Ben Koopman on the tackle. However, it is enough for a Panther first down. That's their first down of the evening. So the Panthers starting to get something going as they move the ball up to their own 42-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 for Iowa Grant. Steffel under center once again. Man in motion is Ashton Schmitz. They flip it to Schmitz on a jet sweep. Getting out in open field tackle by
Isaiah Stokes
with a great open field tackle for a 5-yard loss on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 15 for the Panthers. Stokes all over that on the pitch to the wide receiver.
It looks like they're going to give him a 7-yard loss on that.
So they're going to call it 2nd and 15 from the Iowa Grant 36-yard line.
17.
Steffel once again under center.
They're wrong.
He'll take the snap, and Steffel will keep it, and he'll get back almost to the original line of scrimmage, a pickup of about 5 yards. Going to bring a 3rd down and a long 10. We'll call it 11. So 3rd and 11 from the 41. And Hillsboro looking for a big defensive play here. Steffel under center. Wide receivers wide. Steffel drop back to pass. Launch one to the end. And it is incomplete. Coe on the intended receiver. Broken up by Isaac Tyne. As Kalen Cook could not get the pass rounded up. He appeared to be open in the flat, but could not track it down. And we'll have an Iowa Grant punt. Isaac Tyne once again back deep for Hillsboro to receive. Punting Kalen Cook. And a high kick. And Tyne will call for a fair catch, and he will round it up at the 35-yard line of the Tigers. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers with a minute 57 left to play in the first quarter. Kalen Coke with a nice high punt of his own, end-over-end punt, which Tyne did field cleanly on a fair catch. They spot the ball just about the 36-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ravenscroft going to pitch it to the near side to Tyne, and Tyne will stumble up the field for a couple yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Tyler Ravenscroft once again under center. He'll take the ball, and
Novacek might even lost one.
Lost about a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Tigers from their own 38. The thing I hate about this triple option offense is I always feel the quarterback should be giving the ball. If he's going to hand it off, hand it off. If you're going to keep it, pull it out sooner than they do. Third and 9. Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. 3 backs, Tyne, Copeman, and Stokes. And Stokes up the middle to get about 3 yards on gain. It's going to be 4th and 7 from the 41 yard or 39 yard line of the Tigers. So I think Hillsboro here, they're going to let the clock expire here. I don't think they're going to run another one. I think that's going to be the end of the first quarter. As Hillsboro players are marching to the sideline. So we'll have the end of our first quarter. Hillsboro leading 8, Iowa Grant 0. And we can take a break here between quarters to run some advertising. Fair catch, a late called fair catch, but fair catch nonetheless, all the way down as Schmitz will fair catch it to the Tiger 27-yard line, or rather Iowa Grant 27-yard line. Switch sides of the field, so I'm screwed up. Got anything to add, Nick?
That's probably the longest punt we've had, and I think these guys might have gotten a little bit of teaching going on this week because they've caught a few punts too.
They're getting
tonight.
some good punts today. There. So Kyle Stuffel under center once again for Iowa Grant. He'll take it. He'll hand it off up the front to Reed, and he's hit immediately by Novacek and Isaiah Stokes. So Irvin and Isaiah combine on a tackle. And they're going to give him about a 4-yard gain, going to bring up 2nd and 6 from the Tiger, or rather Panther 31-yard line. Kyle Stuffel once again under center. Dawson Reed, the lone back. He'll give it to Reed again, and Reed tackled quite quickly. It looks like Cairns coming in from behind to drag him down. Set up a 3rd and 4. Very long 3 from the Panther 34-yard line. They have to get to the 38 for a first down, so we'll call it 3rd 4. Iowa Grant in passing formation. We'll see if they throw the ball. They don't. They hand it off to Stuffel. Keeps it. And Stuffel's brought down for maybe a very short gain. He's brought down right on the 35-yard line. Going to set up a 4th and 3 for the Iowa Grant Panthers. So Hillsboro have yet to drop anybody back deep as they are looking at Iowa Grant is going to go for it quickly on 4th and 2. And there did Hillsboro. Hillsboro did apparently no flag. Now we got a timeout. It looked like Hillsboro almost jumped off sides. He didn't touch anybody, and he must have got back in time as no flags flew. So we have a timeout from Iowa Grant to discuss some things. It's 4th and a long 2. Ball marked just over the 35-yard line of Iowa Grant. They need almost a 38 for a first down.
Looked like a Hillsboro player jumped there, but must not have broke the neutral zone.
They did. They didn't make any contact. If they got back in time, they're a experienced center. When he sees that guy jump, he would have snapped the ball and probably got the penalty in the first down. And now Iowa Grant, they're coming in and they're lining up in punt formation. Isaac Tyne. And a fake, and I think they got Hillsboro for the first down. So a fake punt, and they're going to get the first down as they get out to the 40-yard line. 2 yards more than they needed. It'll set up 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, it'll keep the Panthers right alive. 1st and 10 from their own 40.
It's not working, Bob.
Kyle Steffel under center once again. He'll hand it off to Reed and up the middle for Reed's biggest gain of the night. He picks up about 7 yards on the carry. Out to the Panther 46-yard line where it's going to set up 2nd and a long 3. Call it 2nd and 4.
I think the biggest thing is these Tigers are getting tired, and then you just need to find a way to get a stop here.
Steffel under center. Give it to Reed again. He's the workhorse, and he's out over first down yardage. No flags on the field. Been a pretty clean game so far. And he's just over midfield to the Hillsboro 49, where it will be 1st and 10. First and 10 on the 50-yard line. So Iowa Grant got something going. 8:44 left to play here in the first quarter. Iowa Grant on the move. Steffel once again under center. He'll hand off to Reed.
Reed on a handoff for the Panthers. Touchdown by 12. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Who got the tackle, Nick? I missed the play. There's bugs in my hair.
You know, Irvin Novacek's been on every one of these tackles.
Irvin
lately.
Novacek, he's been hustling up that middle, plugging things up quite soundly. Steffel once again under center. Hillsboro gets their defense set. You hand off to Reed. Steffel will keep it. And he'll pick up a short gain, maybe a yard or two. He's across the Tiger 45 down to the Tiger 44-yard line. He's going to bring up 3rd and a long 3.
Caden Clark in on that tackle, finally getting
Caden
someone
Clark
else
in
involved.
on the tackle, and Caden Clark's been playing awful strong as a freshman. Third and 4. We got a receiver split wide left for the Panthers. They're going to hand off to Reed, and he's going to get the first down and more as he barrels over the 40-yard line down to the Tiger 37. The Panthers with something going here. 7 minutes left, or 7:01 left in the first quarter.
And Ben Koopman in on that tackle to stop the run.
Ben Koopman with the tackle. Nick's all over that defense. Steffel under center. He'll take the snap, hand it off to Reed, and he's buried. Maybe a 1-yard gain on that one. Novacek again in on the tackle. Second and 9 on the Hillsboro 36-yard line. 2nd and 9. Steffel will bring his line up to the line of scrimmage. Crawl under center. He'll take the snap. A pitch to the
Big pitch.
outbacker on the outside,
Oh.
and he is buried at the 35-yard
Looks like
line.
Caden Clark went all the way across for that one.
Caden Clark finding his way around the field. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 7. They're calling it 3rd and 8 from the 35. The Tigers have to get tough on defense here as Iowa Grant is probably in 4-down territory. No fake punt here. Schmidt's the ball carrier. I think he's just a little bit short. He's going to bring up 4th and short. Well, it looks like 4th and about 2. Down to the Tiger 29-yard line. So a big 4th down play here.
We had Novacek and Stokes in on that one. Novacek and Stokes.
4th and 2, Steffel under center for the Panthers. Nothing going there. The Tigers a stand. No flags on the field.
Caden Clark again.
Caden Clark in there. Nolan Hansen with a good push up the middle. And Hillsboro will take over on downs. 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. 4:30 left to play in the half. Hillsboro leading 8-0. Tyler Ravenscroft will crawl under center for Hillsboro. 3 backs in the backfield. And ball carrier Tyler Ravenscroft for his biggest run of the year, a run of about 12 yards. For a 1st down, and will set up Hillsboro 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. So Ravenscroft pulls it out of the breadbasket of Stokes and rumbles off the right side for a 12-yard gain. And now Ravenscroft under center again. This time he'll give it to Stokes, who will plow forward for about 4 yards. Give him 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the Tiger 45.
Gain of 3 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 7.
Three and a half left to play in the half. Tyler Ravenscroft will bring his line up to line of scrimmage. Hillsboro has to sense a little bit of urgency here and move a little quicker. They'll hand off to Stokes up the middle for a short gain. Hillsboro with a full complement of timeouts left as we're nearing the 3-minute mark. 3:06 left to play. And Coatman will check in for Irvin Novacek on the offensive side, bringing the play, and we'll see what we got drawn up for 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. They need the Panther 48-yard line to get a 1st down.
It just seems like nothing's been going right ever since that first touchdown.
Big 3rd and 6 play. Tyler Ravenscroft under center. He'll bring it out. He'll flip it near side. Isaac Tyne. He's got the 1st down and more. He'll get pushed out of bounds at the Panther 44-yard line, which will stop the clock with 2:28 to play. And a 1st down for the Tigers. So the Tigers down to the Panther 44 with a full complement of timeouts and 2.5 minutes to play. Tigers are in business. We'll see what they draw up here. Hillsboro hustles up to the line of scrimmage. Ravenscroft under center. He'll hand off to He'll keep it, give it to Tyne, and Tyne still running. Tyne breaking away for first down yardage. Tyne all the way down to the 34-yard line.
This is about the
A
time
gain of 10 yards.
Eric All should use a timeout here. He's got to use a timeout.
They're only going to give him 9 on the carry. Be 2nd and 1 for Isaac Tyne and the Tigers. And Garrett Rafels motioning, hey guys, let's go. We got something going here. And Hillsboro just does not seem to have any sense of urgency here. Awful slow getting plays in, awful slow getting up to the line.
You can't take your timeouts with you.
Ravenscroft up the line of center. And Ravenscroft will keep the ball. And Hillsboro's going to have to call a timeout here. They're calling the first down for Hillsboro, so it'll stop the clock. But they aren't getting plays in very fast. They're winding the clock already, 1:20, and now Hillsboro will call a timeout.
I tell you what, that timeout there is worth about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
It seems like they waited.
The clock was stopped at the first down, but they wound the clock down to 1:20, so they lost 1 second. We'll see. Maybe the 1 second won't haunt anybody. Tigers with 2 timeouts in a minute 20. They're on the Panther 26-yard line. Definitely looking to score here before the end of the half. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers. I just wish I had as much patience as these young men on the field, because it just seems like there's no sense of urgency, no hustle back to the line of scrimmage. We just hope it doesn't backfire and be the one that could have been.
You got to feel like going into halftime 8-0 is almost a loss.
Yeah.
You got to go up 2 scores here.
Hillsboro has to score here. Ravenscroft will hand off, drop back to pass, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for Ben Copeman. And so to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. And been a pretty clean half. I don't know if there's been a penalty called on either team up to this point.
Not a single penalty yet.
Ravenscroft, he's going to hand off to, no, he's going to keep it. Ravenscroft with the ball. Now he'll flip it late to Tyne, I think. And it's going to be a loss of yardage on the play. And nothing going Hillsboro's way right now, as it's 3rd and 12 for the Tigers. And now they're going to put in Miles Ravenscroft. He's going in for Tyler Ravenscroft, presumably at quarterback. And Hillsboro will call timeout after running a valuable 18 seconds off the clock before calling the timeout.
Just seems like too much thought process for Hillsboro here. Just too much thinking and not enough doing.
So Hillsboro with 1 timeout remaining. 46 seconds remaining in the half. They're facing a 3rd and 12. So I can't believe Hillsboro's tired yet, because everything they've done has been slow motion and walking. Miles Ravenscroft, quarterback, puts Tyne in motion. He'll drop back to pass. Time for Ravenscroft. You'll find Stokes over the middle, I believe. Or is it Copeman? Copeman completes the pass. It's must be short of the first down. 4th and 2, and now we're going to use Hillsboro's last timeout. Again, running valuable time off the clock before calling the timeout. So Hillsboro out of timeouts. They're facing a 4th and 1 on the 11-yard completion to Copeman.
And you saw earlier in the season, Isaac Tyne kicking field goals. Do you attempt a field goal from this distance?
From here, the field goal would be
Because it's one play for
36-yard
6.
field, 33-yard field goal.
You're looking for one play for 6 points?
I think.
Or do you run a play and spike it and get closer for the field goal?
Well, after this play, the clock's going to stop regardless if Hillsboro gets a first down or turn it over on downs. I would say if Hillsboro can't get a long yard on a good hard rushing play, then Hillsboro's got problems up front. They've been doing it all night. Ravenscroft from shotgun formation will go to Cairns for his second touchdown of the game. A 16-yard touchdown pass from Miles Ravenscroft to Joseph Cairns, who's yanked down 2 passes tonight, both for touchdowns, one for 19 and now one for 16. And Hillsboro currently up 14-0, 24 seconds left, and will line up for a 2-point conversion.
That is a gutsy play for Eric All. He does not do that often. You got to have a lot of trust in somebody to do that.
Hillsboro's thrown more passes tonight than they threw all last year. So we're going to go for one. It's a fake, a fumble. We got a flag on the play. And Stokes going to throw it for a 2-point conversion. It's complete, but we're going to wave it off and say Hillsboro had 2 men in motion, illegal procedure. And so I think we'll come back a few yards and try it again. If Iowa Grant declines it, it's 2 points for Hillsboro, but they're going to take the penalty and we will try it again. So Hillsboro will drop back to the 8-yard line, currently leading 14-0, and they lined up as if they were going to kick the extra point, and they had quite success last week against Necedah kicking. I'm surprised they pulled it out and went for 2. Now they're lining up for 2. Tyler Ravenscroft back in the game under center. He'll roll back to throw. He's going to loft it into the end zone. It's caught by Stokes, and he's in for 2. So that's Isaiah Stokes' second 2-point conversion on the 8-yard pass from Tyler Ravenscroft. And with 24 seconds left in the half, Hillsboro will go up 16-0. And Hillsboro really needed that score.
Yeah, that's big. And that extra
score.
2 at the end is huge, too.
A huge score. Because I believe Hillsboro, if they can stop Iowa Grant here, not give up a big play, Hillsboro will get the ball to start the second half. Ashton Schmitz back deep for the Panthers. He will have his return gear on. I can only assume that Miles Ravenscroft, who threw the touchdown pass to Cairns, will be kicking it off. Miles Ravenscroft will tee it up for the Tigers. Ready to kick. Ashton Schmitz back deep. And a short pooch punt. Going to be fumbled by number 14. Now he'll pick it up running backwards, and he's going to be brought down. Open field tackle by Caden Clark. And Caden Clark has been all over the field tonight.
I tell you, he's a special freshman. For as many freshmen as there are in this class, he's a special one.
You don't get very many freshmen that can walk on the field and perform right away like Caden Clark has performed. So Iowa Grant with just under 22 seconds left to play in the half. 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line. And Hillsboro lining up almost like they're in a prevent defense as they've got 4 defensive backs, all more than 10 yards off the ball. They're not going to give up the big play. Steffel under center. He's going to double handoff right back to, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds.
He almost
The
ran out of
Hingerman
bounds.
will be the ball carrier for a gain of about 5 yards. Just under 16 seconds to play here in the first half. So Hillsboro more than willing to give up the 4 or 5, 6 yard gains. They're willing to give up a 10 or 12 yard gain. They just don't want to give up the big 40, 50, 60 yard gain. 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Steffel will keep the ball. He'll roll out. He'll throw into the flat. It's caught for very little gain, maybe a yard. Just ate a bug. Again, Caden Clark over there. Ryan McCoy and Nolan Hansen out in the flat giving help. And that's going to end the half as time will expire. Hillsboro will go to halftime leading 16-0 over the Iowa Grant Panthers. I'm going to step away from the mic. Nick's going to round up some stats. Jill's going to run some advertising, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Rounding out the first half for the Tigers, Tyler Ravenscroft 1 for 2 for 19 yards and a touchdown passing. Miles Ravenscroft 2 for 2 passing for 27 yards and a touchdown. Your big player of the half is going to be Joseph Cairns with 2 receptions for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Ravenscroft 3 rushes for 34 yards, a long of 14. Isaac Tyne 8 rushes for 30 yards, long of 10. Isaiah Stokes 6 rushes for 12 yards, as long as 5. And on defense, your tackle leaders are Isaiah Stokes with 7, Caden Clark with 6, Irvin Novacek with 6, and Ben Koopman with 3. Other tackle receivers are Garrett Rafel, Nolan Hansen, and Joseph Cairns. On defense this half, we had a fumble recovery by Joseph Cairns and an interception by Miles Ravenscroft.
So we're about 3 minutes before the start of second half action. The Hillsboro Tigers leading the Iowa Grant Panthers 16-0 in Ridge and Valley Conference play. Hillsboro with a passing attack tonight that we have not seen before. Tyler Ravenscroft throwing a 19-yard touchdown strike to Joseph Cairns, and right before the half, Miles Ravenscroft throwing a touchdown strike. Also on the receiving end, Joseph Cairns for both touchdowns. Isaiah Stokes has both two-point conversions, and we sit at 16-0. As both teams make their last minute adjustments here with about 2 minutes left in the halftime. Getting stretched out, we have not seen one penalty flag against the Tigers for illegal procedure on a two-point conversion play. The only penalty flag we've seen. So one penalty for 5 yards against the Tigers. Iowa Grant playing a clean game. However, they do have 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception.
And for the first time this season, 3 Hillsboro Tigers above 5 tackles at halftime.
Hillsboro defense playing tough. They're swarming to the ball. Whoever makes a first hit, they usually can count on somebody else getting there quite quickly to help. It's been a good defensive game for the Tigers. So the Tigers are sitting comfortably right now with a 16-0 lead. They don't want to put it in coast mode. They want to quickly add another 16 points onto this lead of theirs. Hillsboro will be starting out with the ball, as I believe Hillsboro kicked off to start the game. They will receive the ball to start the second half. As you can see on your screen, you can watch, I don't know if that's Channel 8 or Channel 19. You can watch highlights of the game tonight on Network TV. Or you can just keep rewinding our YouTube broadcast and watch the highlights right here.
And you know, this game has big implications for Hillsboro because earlier Ithaca lost their first game, and then their second game they barely skimmed one by against Riverdale.
It's huge implications, and next week they'll welcome the Boscobel Bulldogs to town, a very winnable game again for the Tigers. And it's going to take 4 wins to get into the playoffs, and this could get Hillsboro halfway there tonight if they can hang on for a win. So we'll reset our clocks for the 12-minute half. And the chain gang is set. The officials are set. Teams are making their way onto the field. So Kalen Koch set to kick off for his first time tonight. And Hillsboro still putting the receiving team out. They will put them back now. It looks like Isaac Tyne dropping back deep for the Tigers. The up men be Aiden Sake and Jaden Burnett. And way up looking for the short kick is Caden Clark and David Johnson. The front men, Gajewski, looks like Stokes. And there it is, and it's covered up nicely
by Cairns.
Cairns again. Joseph Cairns having quite a night tonight. As they tried to pop up an onside kick on the Tigers. Cairns fields the ball just like the left fielder he is. Brings the ball down, and Hillsboro's going to start out 1st and 10 on their own 47-yard line as we get the third quarter under play. The best part of it is he caught the ball on his knee, so no time went off the clock.
I don't understand that coming out of the half, down 2 scores. You need to get a stop and you kick an onside kick.
The element of surprise, Nick tried to get the ball, and Ravenscroft, he's going to hand off up the middle. I think, no, maybe he kept it, or Stokes piled up. Stokes with a carry, and he gets nothing as the Panther defense is fired up. They're going to give Stokes a gain of a yard, a long yard, going to bring up 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 9, they're going to call it, from the Hillsboro 48-yard line. It's actually a 49-yard line.
Gave him a whole 2 yards on that. I didn't think he maybe got that far.
It's a short 2. I didn't think he made it back the line of scrimmage, but he keeps his legs churning. He's a tough runner. Tyler Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. He'll take the snap. And Stokes will take the ball up the field. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Tigers as he gets it across midfield and into Panther territory. So we're looking at 3rd and 4 from the Panther 46-yard line. And Hillsboro, they're going to go back there, I would assume, just stick to their running offense now and try to drag this down. Try to grind the clock out on this one. Ravenscroft, man in motion, and it's up front to Stokes, and I think he's got about a yard. It's going to bring up 4th and 3, a long 3, as a punt team comes on. Irvin Novacek already dropping back deep to punt as he counts his players on the field. Ashton Schmitz for the Panthers will drop back in receiving as he sets up about the 20-yard line. Irvin with a long kick, and that one's going to go over his head. Can Hillsboro track it down for its end zone? And it doesn't. So it'll be a touchback. They'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line, I believe. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers to start their first drive of the second half from the 20-yard line. As Iowa Grant hustles up to the line of scrimmage. Stuffle under center for the Panthers. You take the snap. Hit up front hard. Novacek with the first hit. Stokes there to help. And McCoy there to help drag him down. Novacek been hitting hard up the middle today. A gain of 3, going to bring up 2nd and 7 from the Panther 23-yard line. With Steffel once again under center for the Panthers. Wide receiver, wide left. And not a whole lot going there. The ball carrier off the left tackle was Steffel himself as he kept the ball.
Karen's on the tackle.
Steffel picks up a gain of about a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 at the 25-yard line of the Panthers. And a big 3rd down for the Tiger defense if they can hold here. Steffel under center. And now Steffel running around the left side. He's going to be short of 1st down yardage. Now they're marking the ball that he did make the 1st down. They're marking the ball over the 31-yard line. And they're saying wind the clock as he got the ball set already. So it'd be a 1st down. It'd be 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line of the Panthers.
And Stokes in on that tackle.
Reed takes the ball straight up the middle. He's out to about the 35-yard line. Be a gain of 4 yards for the Panthers.
Novacek on the tackle again there.
So 2nd and 6 for the Panthers from the Panther 35-yard line. Schmitz and Koch both on the lower side of your screen in wideout receivers. Stuffle fumbles the ball on the ground, and I think Stuffle fell on top of it. So a bad exchange between the center and quarterback. Stuffle got the ball back for no gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Panthers from their own 35-yard line.
Those are the kind of plays we were talking about at the beginning. Hillsboro just needs to capitalize on this and get a stop here, get the ball back.
Yeah, at this point, every play is a big play for the Tigers. Yeah. The Panthers will come back, go back to work. They put Stuffle under center once again. Stuffle back to pass. Now he'll run right side, and he won't get the first down. He'll be down about if they mark it, the 39. He may have made it to the 40. They're going to mark it right at the 40-yard line. He's going to bring up 4th and 1 for the Panthers.
Stokes and Novacek.
What do you do, Nick? What do you do, Nick, when you're down by 16, midway through the 3rd quarter, and it's 4th and 1 near midfield?
When they have it fumbled or thrown an interception, they've gotten about 4 or 5 yards every play, so you got to run it.
I agree, and they are indeed going for it. No fake punt this time. The Stuffle will go under center. Hillsboro's defense will have to stiffen up big here. Stuffle, hand off to Reed, and he might have got stuffed. Forward progress is not enough. They'll probably call for a measurement, but I'm going to guess that the Panther forward progress did not get him there. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. And they're going to call for another measurement.
And this one looks short.
And cameraman Joe can probably zoom right in for our home viewers at home and see just how close this one was.
Tell you, that's either way. If it's there, it's a hell of a stop by Irvin Novacek.
It was a good defensive stand, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. They did not get it. And it'll be turnover on downs, and Hillsboro will take the ball. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the 41-yard line of the Panthers. So Hillsboro already in Iowa Grant territory. And just a fantastic defensive play by Hillsboro to stuff Iowa Grant for about a half a yard is all they got when they needed a yard. Tyler Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. And you pull it away. I think Ben Copeman was looking for the handoff, and Tyler, I don't know if he was bobbling it or what, he pulled it down, and it's going to go for a loss on the Tigers as he could not get back to the line of scrimmage. Big play for the Panthers, and it's 2nd and a long 12. We'll call it 2nd and 13 from the Tiger. They're still in Panther territory. Panther 43-yard line. Ravenscroft again, ready to take the snap. He'll take the snap. He'll flip it out wide to Ben Copeman. Copeman will gain about 3 yards on the carry. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 9, 3rd and 10 maybe. They're going to mark it right about the 40-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 9. The way they got the ball marked and the chain set, the chain gang doing no favors for the Tigers tonight. 3rd and 10 they're going to call it. Just under 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Ravenscroft take the snap. Now he'll flip it out wide to Isaac Tyne. Tyne for positive yardage, stumbling all the way up he maybe pulled up about an 8-yard gain on that.
Be about a 6-yard gain.
And they're going to bring the ball back just inside the 35-yard line, where it's going to be 4th and a long 3. 4th and 4 they'll call it. He's got to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. Definitely 4 down territory for Hillsboro. It really does no good to kick it into the end zone for a touchback here and only gain 14 yards on the punt. So it's definitely 4th down territory for the Tigers. I'm surprised at the timeout there. I almost thought they're Hillsboro milking the clock already, which is fine. For a while there, I thought Hillsboro was going to take a delay of game just to back it up and make it easier for the punter. But Hillsboro will throw together a play here with 4th and 4. I can tell you right now, Hillsboro, I don't think is going to punt. Tyne is on the field, but the punter for the game tonight, Irvin Novacek, is on the sidelines.
No, I think they're definitely going for it. Just a matter of if they're trying to drop another pass here or if they're going to run the ball.
Well, that's the other thing. Hillsboro called timeout. They had plenty of time. They could have got up the line of scrimmage and started barking a hard count and tried to draw them off sides. They would have had an automatic 1st down, but they just kind of hung back in the huddle and run some time off the clock. So it's going to be another pass play for Hillsboro. Ravenscroft, it's going to be broken up. Broken up by Ashton Schmitz. It was intended for Aiden Sake. Thank you. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Iowa Grant will get the ball 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. 3:48 left to play here in the game, or 3rd quarter. I'm trying to get this one over. 3:48 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Hillsboro still leading 16-0. No score by either team yet here in the 3rd quarter as Panthers hustle up to the line of scrimmage. Steffel under center. And he'll drop back to pass. A long pass down the middle. He's got a receiver open, and it's knocked down by Ben Copeman on the defense. 3 defenders back on that one, and Copeman got up in the air and put his hand on it. And Iowa Grant trying to slip a receiver beyond the Hillsboro defense and try and look for the big play here in the 3rd quarter. Going to bring up 2nd and 10 from their own 34-yard line. The Steffel will run his team up to the line of scrimmage. Hillsboro will set their defense. Steffel will take the ball. He'll hand it off to, and it's brought down immediately to Dawson Reed, probably for a little bit of a loss there.
Looks like they're going to mark him right at the line.
They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up a 3rd and 9 from the 35.
And Dane Green on the tackle there. That's his first appearance in this game.
And now a big play for both teams. If Hillsboro can make a stop here, it almost forces Iowa Grant to punt. Iowa Grant quickly up to the line of scrimmage. The snap to Steffel. He'll drop back to pass. He'll launch another one out into the flat. It's caught. And he's driven out of bounds by Miles Ravenscroft. And it's going to bring up a 4th and 4 from the Panthers' 41-yard line. Just under 3 minutes, 2:56 to play in the 3rd quarter. Hillsboro with their defense set. Iowa Grant going to go for it on 4th and 4. A little bit surprising to me. It's a pitch out the left side, and he's going to be caught by Joseph Cairns again. Novacek there to help. Joseph Cairns with the big hit for the tackle for a loss. It's going to be a loss of about 5 yards on the play. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Hillsboro is going to take over 1st and 10 from the Iowa Grant 35-yard line. And you look back at the first play of the game where Cairns caused the fumble. There's no play bigger than the last one that he just made.
Yeah, he's
Tyler-
been having a good game today.
Tyler Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. He's going to hand it off to Stokes. Stokes weaving his way right up the middle for about a 5-yard gain.
That's going to be Sake on the play. Or Koopman.
And they're going to set the ball just inside the 30-yard line. Going to set up a long, 2nd and 5.
It's actually Ben Koopman on the carry.
Was that Ben Koopman on the last one?
Yeah,
for
it
gain
was.
of 5. I just look at the pink socks. Now they all wear pink socks. I can't tell them apart. So Ravenscroft's going to have first down yardage. If they mark forward progress, he's got first down yardage. The whistle should have been blown dead. Now they're saying Iowa Grant recovered a fumble.
I don't know if that's the right call. I think
I am
pushed
going to
backwards for a
disagree.
while.
I'm a Tiger fan through and through, but forward progress was stopped. And if forward progress is stopped, there can't be a fumble. I know that's what the coaches on the Hillsboro sideline are arguing now too, but there's no arguing. The call's been made. And anyway, it'll be a turnover on downs. Iowa Grant, Tyler Ravenscroft will get charged with a fumble, which I don't believe it was. 1st and 10, Iowa Grant from the 25-yard line. And it'll be Steffel straight up the middle. And he's going to give up 4 yards on the carry as he gets it out to the 29-yard line.
There'll be Nolan Hansen on the tackle there.
So 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Or not Tigers, for the Panthers. They're about the Hillsboro, just inside their own 30-yard line. They have to get it just over the 35 for a first down. Steffel will take the ball. He'll hand it off up the middle to Reed again. And Dawson Reed finding a little to no running room. They're going to mark him up a yard, so he got a yard gain. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 from the 31, a short 4. So the Tiger defense will have to get tough here. Steffel under center for the Panthers. He'll take the ball. And a short gain as he's upended by Miles Ravenscroft going off the left tackle.
I think Stokes might have been in
And
there.
they're going to say
tripped him
no
up.
gain on the play. It's going to be 4th and 3. 4th and 2 from the 33, so a very short gain on the play. So here we are again. Two wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Stuffel's going to keep it. He comes outside, and who got him that time? Is it
Dane Green on the
52,
tackle.
Dane Green with a quarterback sack. And all fired up as a sophomore defensive lineman sneaks through to grab Stuffel from behind and throw him to the ground. For a quarterback sack and a loss of 4 yards, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers as they'll take over on downs. There's a loss of 7 on the play. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Panther 27. Now they got to get something going here. 13 seconds left to play in the half. Tyne with the ball up the middle. A strong run for 7 or 8 yards. We'll see where they mark him. He's down to about the 20-yard line.
I think that's going to be end of the
It'll
third
be
here.
2nd and 2 for the Tigers as we will take the break for the quarter. We'll start 4th quarter action. When we start 4th quarter, it'll be 2nd and 2 from the Tigers from the Panther 20-yard line. I'm going to invite you all to stick around after the game for post-game activities. We'll have the Clark Power Sports post-game show, and we will have, following that, some following comments. So stick around, and Jill's waving some trophies at me. We'll have the Steckel Family Farms Sticky Sweet Player of the Game, as we will announce that after the Clark Power Sports show.
I'm good. Thank you very much. Popcorn? Boys, popcorn?
No popcorn for me. Jill's drinking her Diet Pepsi and Nick's drinking Code Red. I got the hard Mountain Dew, and we're all jacked up on Mountain Dew tonight, as the Tigers holding on to a 16-0 lead as we get ready to start fourth quarter action. So both teams on the field. Hillsboro with three backs, Copeman, Stokes, and Novacek in the backfield. Ravenscroft under center. Ravenscroft will take the snap. Up front, straight ahead to Novacek, I believe.
Novacek on carry for the Tigers.
Novacek with a short gain. It's going to be 3rd and inches.
We'll have an official timeout.
And we're going to have another measurement.
It'll be just short of the first down
Now they decide no measurement. It'll be 3rd and inches for the Tigers.
for the Tigers.
Again in the backfield. Copeman tying on the field now and Stokes. Ravenscroft under center. He'll take the ball up front to Tyne. He's got first down yardage and more.
Time slips on the play. It'll still be
And Tyne, now they're saying just barely back the line of scrimmage as the knee went down.
inches for the Tiger offense. And Iowa Grant looking to stifle.
So
If you're Hillsboro, you're getting impatient here. You want to punch this through.
a huge 4th down here for both teams. If Hillsboro gets this, they're down in field goal range. And they're going to give it to Stokes, legs churning, and I think he got it. And they're marking him well ahead. It'll be no flags on the field, first down. Remarkably, Nick, only one flag tonight. Hillsboro on an extra point on an illegal procedure.
Yeah, refs for
Iowa
the
Grant
most part.
plays a clean game. They have not been flagged once tonight for any penalties.
Yeah, for the most part, keeping the flag in the pocket, letting them play.
Yep, one penalty so far for 5 yards against the Tigers. Iowa Grant, no penalties as we speak. Ravenscroft under center for the Tigers. Copeman with the ball going off the left side, and nowhere running for him as he'll lose a couple on the play. Be a 2nd and a long 12. Back to the 20-yard line.
It'll be 2nd and 13.
So 2nd and 13 for the Tigers, as they're getting a long field now to play on. They're down on the Panther 20-yard line. Up by 16, they're definitely 4 down territory.
On the run.
Up the middle, Stokes the ball carrier, I believe.
He got back to the line of scrimmage, looks like.
And yeah, he gains 3 to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to set up 3rd and 10 for the Tigers.
It just
Isaac
seems
Tyne
like,
checking into the game for Novacek.
It just seems like Hillsboro's 3 successful plays tonight have been from the passing formation. We've kind of abandoned that.
Yeah, don't rule out a pass right now as they got Cairns down low, Sake up high, and we're back in the pass. Ravenscroft, and a diving Carnes in the end zone, and Cairns can't come up with it. And we're looking at 4th and 10 from the 16-yard line. David Johnson's going to check into the game for Aiden's sake. And don't rule out another passing play here. Iowa Grant's been tough on the run tonight. Not giving up anything big. They gave up maybe one 12-yard run is all they've given up. Ravenscroft under center. He'll flip it out wide to Tyne. And Tyne isn't going to make the first down, but he drives Iowa Grant deeper. It'll be turned over on downs as he gets down to about the 11-yard line. Be a 5-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers on their own 11-yard line. This is the deepest starting position that Iowa Grant has had tonight. Stuffle with the pass. He's sacked again. Cairns there, but the first one to get there.
And that was almost a safety. Got him down to maybe the 2-yard line.
Did you catch who else was there?
Down to about the 2-yard line, almost a safety. I couldn't catch the tackle.
A big tackle for loss by the Tigers.
Looks like they're giving it to Ryan McCoy.
Well, here we go. They say Ryan McCoy in on that with the big push. 2nd and 20, and right down there. And now ball run up front. Get him out of danger. They're right down on the goal line. Be a couple yard gain there for the Panthers. 3rd and 16 for the Iowa Grant Panthers. This Iowa Grant offense is not that bad. They did put up 44 points last week, so they know how to score. Just maybe the Tiger defense has been a little bit stiff tonight. Steffel take the snap, back to pass. Steffel launch it out here in the flat, wide open receiver, and it's caught. That's the big play they didn't want to give up. Ashton Schmitz, and he's towing the line, is finally knocked out of bounds by Stokes. I don't know where the side judge is. He's limping up here 50 yards behind, but he was towing that line, Schmitz was, running down the chalk. And for now, they're going to say he's out of bounds about the 20-yard line, maybe the 21 of the Tigers. That's the big play that Hillsboro didn't want to give up.
That's right. And it seems like you had to expect that coming on 3rd and 16. You got to look for that deep pass. Can't get burnt on that play.
And he was a beautiful throw by Steffel, and Schmitz was wide open out here in the flat of the field. Steffel again under center for the Panthers. It's a counter play off the tackle, and it's going to go for about 7 yards. Hinderman with a run on the counter. It's all the way down to about the Tiger 15-yard line, where it's going to bring up 2nd and 4.
I'll be Irvin.
We just got done talking about that Tiger stiff defense, and all of a sudden they've got their back against the wall. Steffel once again under center. Steffel will flip it out wide. That one's to Schmitz, and Schmitz is going to get tackled for a short loss. Didn't quite get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 3rd and a long 4.
Yeah, Stokes did a good job of closing the outside there, forcing him back in and getting the tackle.
Steffel under center for the Panthers. Barking out his cadence. And now a timeout by Iowa Grant. Steffel, as we talked, I thought Hillsboro maybe should have did that earlier. Steffel trying to draw the Tigers offside. Get a free first down. The Tigers obedient. And Iowa Grant will use their first timeout. Both teams with 2 timeouts left. 6.5 left to play in the game. Hillsboro clinging to a 16-0 lead, but Iowa Grant threatening down onto the Hillsboro 15-yard line. 3rd and 4 for the Panthers. You just kind of know, or knew it in your heart that Stuffle was going to make a big connection. He's a throwing quarterback. And you just, with the talent they have at receiver, you just kind of knew eventually they were going to break one off.
This is the biggest probably bend don't break moment of the game here for Hillsboro. You can bend here, just do not break. Don't give up that touchdown.
I agree, and with 6.5 left in the game, if Hillsboro can get some more time off that clock, it's going to take at least 2 scores for Iowa Grant to get themselves back into this thing. Schmitz goes in motion deep, and now Steffels going to keep the ball up the middle, a short gain. I don't believe he got first down yardage. It's going to bring up a 4th down, and the clock will run. So it'll be 4th and a yard as they're down to the 11-yard line. So the Tiger defense faced with a 4th and 1 here with just under 6 minutes left to play here in the game. Stuffle under center for the Panthers, and he'll take it himself with a good push, and I don't know if he got it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just inside the 10 here for a first down.
And they're going to say first down and goal to go just inside the 10-yard line of the Tigers. So Iowa Grant 10 yards from pay dirt. Hillsboro's defense will have to get a little stiffer here, get a little tighter. Schmidt's going to throw the ball, and he's sacked again by Joseph Cairns. The ball's loose. They're going to call him down.
Call him down.
So Joseph Cairns with another big play tonight.
And who else, right? Who else?
Who else? He's been making plays offensively and defensively tonight. It's been the Joseph Cairns show. A big sack for a 5-yard loss. Going to bring up 2nd and goal from the Tiger 15. Reed off the right tackle, and he's going to get down to almost the 5-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line.
4 or 5, somewhere in there.
So Hillsboro giving up a 10-yard run, going to make it 3rd and goal from their own 5-yard line. The Panthers driving, the clock is running, less than 4.5 to play. Stuffle under center. He'll take the snap. Now he does. He's going to hand it off again to Reed. He didn't get to the end zone. Now they say he did. The football made it across. So Iowa Grant on the board. So they'll put 6 on the board on the 5-yard run. And Iowa Grant, they will have to line up for a 2-point conversion.
You got to go for 2.
1 point's not going to do them any good. So Iowa Grant will line up for the 2-point conversion. Stuffle under center. An untimed down, if you will, for 2 points. See how Stuffle does it. Stuffle takes the ball. And they got it in. A lot of razzle-dazzle on Iowa Grant. I was even having trouble following the ball. But they do sneak it in. They make this a 1-score game. They get the first score of the second half here with 4:10 left to play in the game. Hillsboro still leading 16-8. And they'll line up and have to get back to business here and try to control the ball for the next 4 minutes.
And you got to wonder, in the back of your mind, is Iowa Grant looking to go for another onside kick here?
Absolutely. And Iowa Grant's defense has been stuffing Hillsboro. Well, why not, I guess? Why not the onside kick? I would think Hillsboro will be looking for that. I think Hillsboro definitely has to have their hands team on the field. Who knows? Maybe Joseph Cairns will make another big play for the Tigers here. We saw the big play last week from the lineman Nolan Hansen intercepting the ball and returning it 60 yards for a touchdown. You don't see that very often. He blocked the ball and intercepted it, ran 60 yards last week for the touchdown for the lineman. Got to give him some love here, as linemen don't get a lot of love. As Isaac Tynes going to drop back deep, Jaden Burnett and Aiden Sake will flank him. Kalen Cope.
Looks like Hillsboro
The
short a
kick for the
guy.
Panthers.
Hillsboro short one playing, now they're not.
Up front, they got Rafel, Karen, Stalky. Is it Stokes over there? No, it's Koopman, I think.
Got Koopman
Koopman,
up
and
there.
on the far side is Gajewski. And there's an onside kick, and Iowa Grant might have got it. I think Iowa Grant got the onside kick. Hillsboro slow to get to that ball, and the Iowa Grant kicker all over it. Iowa Grant absolutely has the ball on the Hillsboro 49-yard line. Hillsboro slow to get to that onside kick. I'm sure they'll watch that a few more times in practice tomorrow. But for now, Iowa Grant in business with 4:10 left to play in the game, and they're in Hillsboro territory on the 49-yard line. Hillsboro's defense is going to have to stiffen up right now.
You just got to see that coming, and you got to be ready for that play.
He's going to give it to Reed, and he's going to rumble and tumble up the field. They're saying he got about 4 yards after they called him down the first time. He got about 4-yard runs on that. Going to bring up 2nd and 6 from the Tiger 45-yard line. The Tigers going to have to stiffen up. They can't give them 4 yards at a crack, or they're going to find themselves possibly playing overtime yet tonight. Stuffel's going to keep it, and he's got first down. Going to be close to first down yardage if he didn't get it. The way they're marking it, he's got first down and more. Now they gave it to him, 1st and 10. They weren't going to award it right away, but from up here you could see it. He clearly had the first down. 1st and 10 from the Tiger 38-yard line, 39-yard line. Clock running, 3:15 left to play in the game. Iowa Grant needs a score. Stuffle back to pass. He'll throw it in the flat. It's caught, and Ashton Schmitz will catch it right at the 35. It's going to be a 3-yard gain rather on the pass. They get 3 yards and will stop the clock. 3:05 left to play in the game. Hillsboro clinging to a 16-8 lead. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. And Iowa Grant will come up to the line of scrimmage. Stuffle. Reed with a big run. Broke through the initial contact and rammed his way down the field. He's all the way down to the 27-yard line of the Tigers. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Under 3 minutes to play now, 2:50 to play. As Iowa Grant will hustle up the line of scrimmage, trying to conserve all the clock they can. Stuffle with the ball. He'll drop back to pass. He'll throw to the right side flat. Play! And Miles Ravenscroft back in defense, but nobody touched the ball as it landed between the receiver and Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft got tangled up in his own legs, as did the receiver, I believe was Kalen Cope. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the Tiger 27. Stuffle again under center, 1 lone back, 2 wide out in the slot, given to Reed. Reed is a punishing runner as he gets all he can get. Looking like he gained a couple. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. from the Tiger 23-yard line. Stuff will again take the snap. And Reed, I don't believe he got it. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Fourth and about 4.
Dane Green and Cairns to get on the tackle. A minute 40 left to play, and it's all right here. I think if Hillsboro can get a stop here, they can run the clock out pretty much. Stuffle with the pass. Out in the flat, complete. He's down to the 20-yard line, but that's not going to be enough. And we're going to mark forward progress about the 19, but it should be a yard short. First down, Hillsboro, with a minute 23 left. Both teams with 2 timeouts. So Iowa Grant can stop the ball twice. But I think we're going to be looking at the Hillsboro running show. Iowa Grant will have to stop the clock twice, and then Hillsboro will be able to run the clock out. A first down by Hillsboro would definitely seal the deal on this game.
Just a huge bend, don't break mentality there from the Tigers. You give up that big play, you just got to bend, don't break. Both times, just bend, don't break.
Yeah, the Tigers in a golden position right now, the 1st and 10 with a minute 23 left. Iowa Grant spends a timeout, which kind of surprised me because they're going to need that timeout to stop the clock. And with the minute 23 now, they can only stop the clock once. Hillsboro can basically run this clock out by Iowa Grant can only stop the clock one more time. And I'm just surprised at the timeout called by Iowa Grant there. Hillsboro can basically kneel on the ball and run this one out. They might as well line up and shake hands. Hillsboro's going to, without a botched snap or something, this one's going to go down in the win column for the Tigers. So Iowa Grant can only stop the clock one time now because they spent the timeout with the clock stopped. Iowa Grant would have been better off to take a delay of game on defense. I don't know how that had been possible. I guess Hillsboro line up and just run for a touchdown. So, but we're all learning here, I guess. Hillsboro, they're in victory formation. And Ravenscroft could have taken a couple more seconds off the clock before the knee, but why? I guess let's do it. As the clock's not running. Well, they took a timeout. So Iowa Grant stopped the clock. So there's 1:21 left. And so Iowa Grant's out of timeouts. We got a 1:21 left. We're all learning here, and I'm sure that in practice they'll discuss this, but they were in victory formation, and Ravenscroft took a knee. He could have taken a couple steps back and maybe run a few more seconds off that clock before he took the knee. But because Iowa Grant was more concentrating on calling a timeout and killing the clock. And Hillsboro, they're just anxious to celebrate this victory, I believe. 16-8, it's not over yet, folks. We're on the Iowa Grant on the Tiger 18-yard line. Iowa Grant looking to get the ball back on a turnover here so Hillsboro can't run the clock out. I'm sure what Coach Eric Auld is telling them is we're going to run the same play, and then the next play, we're either going to take a delay a game and make sure we get every second we can off that clock, or we're going to watch the back judge there when he starts counting.
And another instant knee.
Yeah, another instant knee. And Iowa Grant's not even contesting it. I would stand back there until they come after you. And so now Hillsboro, if I was Hillsboro right now, since they're taking an instant knee, to get every second I can off that clock, I would take a delay a game here. If they can get a delay a game, I think one more stab will kill it. He's counting, and I would take the delay. Oh, no. Well, it's
Now
going to
there's
run,
going
but
to
I
be 2
believe
more
it's
seconds.
40 seconds, is it?
Maybe it is 40 in high school.
So an Iowa Grant's retreating to the sideline. Hillsboro's going to come out victorious in this one, 16-8. A couple players with huge games tonight. We'll try to run them down and talk to them here in the post-game show.
Yeah, so don't leave too quick because we still got a post-game show to go.
And
through.
Hillsboro, if they really want to do something, they could line up, snap the ball, and run for a touchdown right now because there's no defense on the field. Everybody's happy, let time expire, and the Tigers are going to pick up their second win of the season.
And a big one at that.
It's a huge win that evens their record at 2-2 overall, but as far as playoff contention is concerned, Hillsboro is 2-0, 1-0 in the conference. And basically resting at first place on top of the Ridge and Valley. As they are the only team, since the rest of them play tomorrow, they got percentage point lead. Hillsboro can say they're first place in the Ridge and Valley Conference right now.
That's correct. Ridge and Valley's transitioning to 8-man next year, so this will be the last year for Hillsboro in the Ridge and Valley Conference before they transition back to Scenic Bluffs next year.
That is true. Hillsboro will rejoin the Scenic Bluffs next year. And with that, I'm going to step away from the microphone, and we will be back in a few seconds. You want to do stats now, Nick, or later?
I'll do a few stats while you're headed down to the field while we have a little break here.
So stick around a few minutes, folks. We'll have Nick's going to go through a few statistics. We're going to have the Clark Power Sports post-game show sponsored by WRJC Radio. We'll have it right here live. And then we're also doing a Steckel Family Farms Sticky Sweet Player of the Game immediately following Clark Power Sports. So stay tuned, Hillsboro fans, as we'll have a post-game show coming up next.
As for stats throughout the game, Miles Ravenscroft on the passing game had 2 completions on 2 attempts for 27 yards and a passing touchdown. Ty Ravenscroft had 1 completion on 4 attempts for a 19-yard gain and a touchdown. If we were to move to the rushing game, the rushing leaders for the day, 12 attempts by Isaac Tyne for 51 yards. His longest rush was a 10-yard rush. Ty Ravenscroft had 4 rushes for 31 yards, his longest being a 14-yard rush. Isaiah Stokes had 11 rushes for 26 yards, his longest with a 5-yard rush. And Ben Koopman had 3 attempts for 4 yards, with his longest rush being a 5-yard rush. So a few losses there in that column. As for receivers on the game, Joseph Cairns had 3 targets, 2 receptions for 36 yards, his longest reception being a 19-yard touchdown. Both of his catches were touchdown catches. He had a 19-yarder and looks like a 17-yarder. Ben Koopman also had a catch for 10 yards. On defense, your tackle leaders are Isaiah Stokes with 17 tackles, Irvin Novacek with 11, Caden Clark with 8, Joseph Cairns with 5, Dane Green with 4, Ben Koopman 3, Nolan Hansen 2, Garrett Rafel 1, Marty Stoll 1, and Ryan McCoy 1. Miles Ravenscroft had an early interception in this game, and there was a fumble recovery early in the game by Joseph Cairns. Also, with a sack each were Ryan McCoy and Joseph Cairns in this game, and a few big tackles for a loss by Joseph Cairns. And we're going to be having a post-game show here shortly with Bob Steckel.
So as we await our live interviews with a couple players, Tyler Ravenscroft with a 19-yard passing touchdown. Brother Miles Ravenscroft with a 16-yard passing touchdown. Joseph Cairns on the receiving end of both touchdowns. Isaiah Stokes with both two-point conversions. And as you saw, the Hillsboro team gathered and sang the school fight song. They, the choir director Paula Parker has her work cut out for them.
Yeah, they got some work to do on the school song, don't they?
Yeah, the school song was not outstanding. We'll give them an A for effort, I guess. You got a couple guys coming up, Mike.
Again, another big win here for Hillsboro, going up 2-0 in conference play. Even though it's 1-0 conference play, 2-0 playoff qualifications, because Neceda's not in the Ridge Valley, but it does count as a crossover game, counting towards Hillsboro's playoff implications. So 2 more wins for Hillsboro, and they'll have locked in a playoff seed for late October. Otherwise, a few other updates. Chiefs and Lions tied 14 apiece midway through the third quarter. And Brewers dropped a big one yesterday to the Pirates 5-4, but they'll play the Yankees tomorrow night at 6:05 p.m.
Welcome back to Hillsboro and Ridge and Valley Conference football here on Now 92 FM and WRJC.com. Hillsboro hangs on for the 16-8 victory over Iowa Grant. They moved to 2-2 overall, 1-0 in the conference, and 2-0 in playoff qualifying games. And they're halfway there to clinching a playoff spot. Joining us right now is head coach Eric Gall. Coach, I think the Ridge and Valley is going to be a bit crazy this year for every team involved. Everyone's, I think, relatively evenly matched up. Is this kind of what you're expecting this year? Some of these wild and crazy games. Bosqueville and Iowa Grant had one last week. You guys and Iowa Grant have a bit of a crazy game this week.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parity in the conference this year. Going into the season, looking at who graduated and who's coming back and all that kind of thing. I kind of thought that it would be one of those situations where it's going to be a dogfight week in and week out, and right now it kind of looks that way.
Hillsboro definitely not known for their air attack game, but I got to believe you saw what I saw, that Iowa Grant was a little bit susceptible to the pass a week ago. Did you see that on film, and did you use that a little bit to your guys' advantage and throw it a little bit more than you usually do?
Well, we knew that Isaiah Stokes was going to be a marked man after the game that he had last week, and frankly, the way he's been playing all season. So we knew that we were going to have to get our quarterbacks and our halfbacks and our receivers a little bit more involved this week. And when we started the game, it was very apparent that he was a marked man. So we tried to spread it out a little bit and allow the whole team to win as opposed to him putting us on his shoulders and carrying us on. So, I mean, we've been working on it all season, and we just have to look for that opportunity when it presents itself, and it did tonight.
You got a lot of defensive playmakers. Isaiah Stokes is one of them. The guy next to you here, Joseph Cairns, is one of them. But how about the freshman, Caden Clark, and what he's done as a freshman defensively for you guys?
Yeah, he's just he has a natural nose for the ball, and he's an aggressive kid. And usually you don't see that with freshmen necessarily right away when they face older competition. But he doesn't bow down to anybody. In practice, he comes at the older guys hard, and we came into the season kind of thinking that he'd play kind of a role, but not nearly as big of a role as he's turning out to play. So he's a great kid to have along with us.
Last year, I felt like you guys could have been, maybe should have been a playoff team, but you lost some games that you probably should have won. One of those was against Iowa Grant last year. How does it feel, even though it was a close one, to get by them this week? And again, you're halfway there. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, but you're halfway there to clinching one of those playoff spots this year.
Well, I'll be perfectly frank. I'm a little bit anxious. We knew coming in that they were going to be a test. They returned a lot of their skilled players, and we were very acquainted with what they did last year and what we needed to do tonight. And for the first half, we really did do that, maybe even 3/4. But they definitely showed that they had playmakers, and they're not one you can take a play off on. It feels good. I'm not going to lie to you. It feels good to get another win under the belt and to beat a good football team, because they are a good football team. Honestly, I feel like they could go toe-to-toe with both New Lisbon and Royal. I know they've already played New Lisbon, but it was a tough-fought game. It's great to beat a team that is a challenge. And we had to face a little adversity tonight. We got up, 16-0 on them. We're driving the ball on them, turned the ball over. They had a big play, and it was a test. And they got us on one, but the kids showed resilience, and they were able to fight back and get the win.
All right, Coach Hall, congratulations on the win, and best of luck. You got another home game next week, right?
Yeah, well, we've been on the road most of the year, so it feels good to be at home, not to take those long drives, and it's fun to have the guys sing their school song here on the home field. So we'll be happy to be back here again next week.
All right, Coach Hall, thanks for joining us. We now bring in Joseph Cairns, and first thing I want to ask you about is that school song. Yes. You guys might have left it all on the football field, but you guys did not leave it all in that school song. Are you gonna add some more effort in next week?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna have to. Work on that. But I'm actually surprised that we did it as well as we did. I don't know. A lot of us have missing voices because of that game, cheering very loud. So we'll work on it.
You were a big two-way player for this Tiger team tonight. 2 touchdown receptions. I believe you have multiple sacks in this game as well. How tough is it? I know Division 7 kids are kind of used to playing both ways, but how tough is it to play a full 48 minutes both ways on the football field? And many of you guys also on the special teams unit as well.
Yeah, it's very tough, and you just have to make sure that you get your body ready for it. I know that this was one of my best games that I've had in my whole career, and definitely just saying that if you play your hardest for the full 4 quarters and you're conditioned, you'll be just fine.
Did you know you guys were going to throw the ball as much as you did in the first half, and we're expecting to get the football quite a bit in the end zone for that matter as well?
I was a little surprised that it was as open as it was, not going to lie, but definitely was expecting it because Coach was preaching it all practice, and we worked on it all practice on Thursday.
What did you guys put in the shotgun play? That's not Hillsboro football, is it?
No, that's one of our special plays that we drew up by the name of Isaac Sugden. We named it after him.
All right, you got the win. You're 2-2 now in the season. You're 2-0 towards playoff qualifying games. So what's that mean to you and this team? Again, you don't want to get ahead of yourselves. You got a long way to go, but get halfway to that playoff clinching spot.
That means a lot to us, especially since we were so close last year. I know a lot of the guys really care about football, and especially all the seniors, and really looking forward to going towards basketball next week.
Do you believe this conference is wide open, and there's no reason Hillsboro can't be the final 11-man Origin Valley Conference football champion?
Yes, I believe so, but we're going to have to put a lot of work in, and I think the guys can do it. We just got to play like we did tonight, all 4 quarters.
All right, Joseph, congratulations on the win, and best of luck next week against basketball, and get those singing voices ready, hopefully, at the end of next game.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Joseph Cairns, Coach Derek Gall, full name, Clark Power Sport Group, Hillsboro.
So that was the Clark Power Sports post-game show, sponsored by Clark Power Sports. Thank you to Mike Baker and WRJC Radio for sponsoring that. What we're doing now is a Steckel Family Farm Sticky Sweet Player of the Game. Every game that we are going to announce a player of a game, and just a few things, Joseph, that Mike didn't cover. I believe it was the first offensive play of the game. You busted through the line, you sacked the quarterback, you stripped the ball, and recovered the fumble. Walk us through that. What's going through your mind, the very first play of the game?
I don't know. My assignment was just to crash down and kill the quarterback the whole time. So that's what I did, and he had a little fumble within himself, and I just hit him, and he dropped the ball, and I picked it up. I mean, he put it right in my lap.
Crash the quarterback. It seemed like you were crashing the ball and the quarterback all night. You got some help again from Caden Clark, a freshman. Dane Green, a sophomore, had a big sack in the second half. What's it like to play with these younger players that are starting to turn it on and help out the older players like yourself and the seniors?
Yeah, it's really cool. Props to all the younger players, sophomores, freshmen that are playing really well, playing at a high level, lots of energy. Very, very impressed by all of them.
The first touchdown, walk us through that a little bit. Everybody was in shock when they dropped back to pass to begin with, and then I look up and you put on a great double move about the 5-yard line to break open, get free, and slip into the end zone. Was that designed, or was that all on you?
No, that was all on me. Ty just threw the ball up, and I had to go make the play.
A great play it was. You made a nice double move down there, slipped in, and then the second touchdown reception, it just appeared to be there. And the third one, it looked like the timing was just not off, but it looked like there was a chance for a third one. You were diving in the end zone. You gave it your all, but it just didn't show up. But you scored both touchdowns tonight. Isaiah Stokes, I believe, had both 2-point conversions. And the defense, just stellar defense. Like I said, you seemed like you were in the quarterback's lap all night. You have anything to add to that?
No. Coach really put me in a position to succeed tonight. He told me that this was going to be my game, and I just had to play up to it, and that's what I did.
All right. Now for the valuable stuff. Being the Steckel Family Farm Sticky Sweet Player of the Game, you get something for your pancakes. You get a nice little bottle of syrup. Show that to the camera so everybody can see that. So everybody who wants one of those, they got to play their heart out like you did. And like they said, for all practical purposes, you guys are 2-0. You can brag tomorrow morning that you guys are first place in the Ridge and Valley Conference because nobody else played tonight. They don't play till tomorrow night. And let's get Hillsboro back in playoff form. We got 2 more wins. We got a big game against Boscoville. This Iowa Grant team that we played tonight, they put up 44 points on Boscoville last week. However, they also gave up 24 points. They only gave up 16 to us. So I think we've got good enough defense. We maybe have to turn on the offense. We need some more big touchdown catches, and best of luck to you next week against the Boscoville Bulldogs.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good night. So thank you to Joseph Cairns and Eric All for coming up. Steckel Family Farm Sticky Sweet Player of the Game. Once again, Joseph Cairns, who had multiple sacks, multiple touchdowns, and put this Tiger team on his back, more or less, as to say, and we hope to see a lot more of that out of him in the future. You got anything you want to add tonight, Nick, before we sign off?
No, just a strong win by Hillsboro. It looked pretty close at the end, but they played 3 solid quarters, kind of like the last time they played Iowa Grant. They played 3 solid quarters and kind of started to fall apart at the end, but they were able to hold on for the win there late, and that's a big win here in the Ridge and Valley.
It was a big win. It was a confidence win. And like you said, last year they played Iowa Grant. They led the whole game, and in the waning moments on a turnover, Iowa Grant slips by and beats Hillsboro by 2. So a big win for Hillsboro. They moved 1-0 in conference. If you count the crossover game against Necedah, they're 2-0 toward playoff qualification. And they're sitting in a good place to be.
It was a beautiful night for football. I hope we get more of these.
Yeah, we don't need any more 90-degree weather. This 60 degrees is just fine with me.
That's right.
So for Jill Steckel, our technical director, our camera person, our scoreboard operator, and everything else, she doesn't get to watch much of the game. She keeps everything running. For Nick Steckel, my statistician and color man, and myself, Bob Steckel, I wish you all a good night and great weekend.